It's your host, Emily Drake, on the podcast EarnestEars, and I'm here with my guests that were in the last episode. Today we'll be carrying on from the last episode, which you should listen to before this one, where we were discussing childhood as a topic. And this time we are painting things that represent childhood and youth.
Oh, are we?
But I don't know. Don't worry.
Oh no, it
can be
anything.
You can always find something.
Yes.
Yeah. How many legs do beetles have? 6.
8.
8?
6.
6?
They're not spiders.
What's a memory where you got in a lot of trouble when you were younger?
Kids. Yeah.
Like something you did wrong.
Like Emily.
Yeah, like Amelie's
How
mice
rude.
story.
I wasn't a terrible child.
If you didn't get into trouble, you were a terrible child. So it's all right.
I'm actually trying to think. I can't think of it.
Or
I used to... Do I share this?
Go on, Neve.
I used to eat
so
chicken
close.
poo.
That's more of a demented thing. That's more of a you problem.
It's more of a
not-
just disgusting child.
That's really concerning.
I'm sure that was really actually quite good for your biome.
Probably, but oh, Jesus.
Well, my sister used to eat snails.
Yeah, so
But-
it's hereditary.
Yeah, exactly. It's not my fault. It was my fate.
Do you feel that positive role models in parents or older people in your childhood were important to your development? And if so, who, or do you remember anyone? Or what are your thoughts on that? It's okay if you want to
I
take a
definitely
moment.
think they're important in your development
Mm.
because you base yourself, and that's how you learn, isn't it?
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
From other people.
I feel like that's another thing that technology
And I think
nowadays...
As
Yes.
time goes on, you remember certain people more. And I think if they stick out in your mind that much as you get older, they must have had a big influence
Mm.
on
Yeah.
you, mustn't they?
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, I can remember a maths teacher.
Maths teacher.
I thought she was wonderful. And I love maths, and I still do enjoy
That's lovely.
maths, that
Aw.
sort of thing.
Yeah.
Numbers. And I'm sure it was down to her
The teacher makes all the difference.
her influence,
it
yeah.
really
Yeah.
does.
Yes, I remember when we used to do, supposed to write compositions. They used to call them compositions. And I remember the teacher saying that I was the only one in the class who'd got any imagination.
Oh,
I was the only one in the class who'd got any imagination.
right. I think it's important for a child to develop their imagination.
Oh, definitely.
Oh,
You know,
yes.
Also,
Pretend to do things, and you hear about children having these friends who they talk to.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that's...
Did you ever have imaginary friends, or...?
No, I think I used to talk to my dolls, probably,
Oh,
or
same.
teddy bear.
Yeah. I always felt really bad not, having all my teddies in my bed. Because
Oh, yes.
otherwise it would be like,
Oh, some would feel left out.
yeah.
yeah.
they feel like they're not part of the... So overall, yes, I think role models really, really are important.
Well, for my childhood, I had very few, maybe 1 or 2 adults who I had any respect for whatsoever.
How come so little?
They were just horrible people.
Gosh.
On the whole.
Horrible people.
Yes.
Did you go
They-
to school, or were you...
Yes, I went to school out there,
Yes.
in Africa, yeah. And they were just, they're very unpleasant teachers on the whole.
They weren't
That's
nuns, were they?
unfortunate.
No,
Oh.
no, I think I wouldn't have minded a nun.
Oh, you would.
But I'm sure.
They kept walloping you for nothing.
Did you go to school in the nunnery or connected to a nunnery?
I went to a convent to start with.
Did you? So
I
you
remember-
had nuns teaching you, did you?
Yeah, always, yeah.
Mm.
And
That
they
was
could be-
my mum's first career aspiration, was to be a nun.
Oh.
What do you want to be when you're older?
First.
So how do you think that affected you growing up, Mr. Dunleavy?
What did?
Having so
these
little,
people?
yeah. Obviously, he gave you very little respect. And,
Don't trust it.
yeah.
Don't trust anybody unless they
Mm.
merit it.
Mm.
And also, a lot of them were violent. I mean, corporal punishment was common.
It was.
They got
yeah.
beaten the whole time.
Oh gosh.
What, by the teachers
Yeah.
who were older?
And then later when
cane strapped for nothing,
Oh yes,
basically.
yes. I think I did. I had one for talking too much when I shouldn't have been. But it was a cane. You held your hand out and you had it on your hand.
gosh.
Nothing more
And some of them,
severe.
some of the nuns had straps, and the history teacher, man, he had a strap as well.
Oh
He used to
gosh.
strap us. You didn't know the answer.
Gosh.
Oh, we didn't. No, we had to do something wrong if we, you didn't get it for nothing.
Still, it's quite an extreme.
But I mean, now you wouldn't be allowed to touch.
No.
Teachers, they'd be in trouble, wouldn't they, if they touched a
Yeah.
child now?
Yeah.
The teacher's point of view, it's quite difficult
Mm.
if you get really difficult children.
Oh yeah.
If you're not
I
a
can
strong
imagine,
person to
yeah.
be able to deal with it. Because I know my husband was a teacher, and
You have to deal with all sorts of kids.
he said they had a young probationary teacher in, and she locked herself in a cupboard because she couldn't cope with the children.
Oh no.
Yeah,
Fair
they had to
enough.
go and
Fair.
rescue her.
Gosh.
You've got to be a strong personality
Yes,
to
you
cope,
do.
haven't you?
Yeah.
You see, in my childhood, we wouldn't have done that because we did what was told.
Yes.
Parents, teachers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did, didn't you?
Yeah.
You didn't argue
We
or
weren't
question
expected
anything.
to have any ideas of our own or any views on.
Remember handwork? I'd always have to sit in the corner because I wouldn't stop
you
chattering.
were a natterer.
Who was it? Who Mrs.
Oh,
what was her name?
Deering.
Deering. Or something.
Oh, that's
Another one.
I used to steal her fabric, and then I
Oh,
was
same.
really, really scared that she would catch me and then try to kill me.
You
But
used to do what, the fabric?
steal the fabric.
God, do you still steal things then?
No, I don't steal anything.
Mice, fabric?
Yeah, lick mice.
Get
Oh, I
right.
sound like
Yeah.
a really awful child. I'm just being honest. Then when she found out that I was nicking a tiny bit of fabric, she actually said, you can just tell me if you're going to take anything, because I want you to foster your own creativity. But
Oh,
don't
I was
do it in
awful
secret.
at that class. I had to have extra knitting lessons because I was so bad at it.
That would only happen in Winstones. It's not something.
It wasn't so much I was bad at it. I just took 2 hours
I
to
was
do
so
one
bad.
row,
Yeah.
and the teachers got really annoyed with me.
Do you know, I can remember at school, it was during the war, and we were taught to knit, and we used to knit scarves for sailors.
Ah.
We had to knit the wool, and that was all supplies, and we were
Gosh.
taught how to do it.
It's incredible to think that
Oh.
your creations were out there
Yes.
supplying someone with
Keeping
warmth.
someone warm.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So how old were you during that time?
Oh, I'd be about 9, 10
Gosh, so
ish. It was
can you
at
remember it?
primary school. Yes, yeah. Oh yes, I can remember that. Yeah. I can remember the war.
what was it like from a young person's I can't speak perspective
Well,
during that time?
I know my father was always disappearing because he was in the St John's ambulance
Mm.
brigade, and whenever there was, the siren used to go, and that meant that the bombers were coming over, and he'd sort of disappear because he had to be on duty.
That's
But
scary.
wasn't called up because he was in engineering, and they were needed to make the equipment of that they needed for the war. So
Gosh.
he was never actually called up to serve.
No.
But I remember one day we'd gone to I lived in Rugby, and we'd gone to Coventry to do some shopping.
Oh dear.
Mhm.
My mother and a friend of hers. And we were on the train coming back, and we heard the sirens going. And the bombers hit Coventry and Rugby, and we were stuck outside the station in Rugby because, they wouldn't let us go
Yeah.
because the bombers were around. And they absolutely destroyed Coventry, and they hit the cathedral and the big shops, and
Gosh.
we'd been in that afternoon shopping,
Yeah.
and they
Oh,
were
that's
destroyed.
scary.
Yeah, absolutely destroyed. And my father was having kittens because he knew we were on the train, and he was waiting.
no.
Poor thing.
That's
He was
Oh,
waiting for us to
terrifying.
come home, and we came. I can
Awful
remember
feeling.
walking down the road or running, and he was at the front door waiting for us, and he just grabbed me and threw me in the shelter. We had one of these
Anderson's.
Anderson shelters, you know, the metal thing that goes over, and you had to go down steps to get into them. And he literally threw me in, my mother, so that we could be safe.
Yeah. Wow. Gosh.
Yeah, I think he did wonder whether we were going to get off that train.
I think I've ruined this.
Go with the flow.
Go with the complete
It
destruction and
represents-
ruination of your picture.
It represents the chaos of my childhood.
It
Oh.
That's
represents-
lovely. So was it chaotic living on a canal boat? then?
Yes.
How long did you live on Canal Boat?
Do you still live on one?
5. No,
No.
no. We moved off like 3 years ago, I think.
Mm.
Because it wasn't very much privacy for me.
No.
Because for you to get out of the boat, you'd have to walk through my room. And there was I couldn't shut doors or anything. There was no privacy.
It's quite
And it was
expensive.
really difficult getting to school every morning because we obviously were more in different places, and then our car would be somewhere else. We'd forget where we put our car, and we'd have to walk, and then we'd find out we went to the wrong place, and then our car would be somewhere else.
I wondered how people manage with the car, because
Yeah.
your boat's on the move all the time.
Yes.
Are there any childhood friends that you're still in contact with?
My friends, we've been friends since we were 11, and now we're both 75 this year, and I'm going over there sometime this year.
Mm.
It's lovely, yeah.
How did
What's
you
that?
manage to stay in contact, so well?
Well, it used to be letters, and then
Yes, that's
later
true.
on it sort of got technology, and we went there a couple of times, and
Was there?
Oslo, Fredrikstad.
It can be.
Sometimes we wouldn't contact each other for ages,
Mm.
and then we would, and it would
Oh,
just be the same.
I think if you're good friends,
Yeah, we didn't need
sort of-
to. Yes.
it's deeper than...
Yeah, we didn't need to keep.
No. Most of mine, I'm afraid, have died.
Yes.
You reach an age when
I'm sure that's
a lot of your friends go on, don't
yeah.
they?
That's the root. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't worry, Neve. I'll play something wonderful for your funeral.
I'm not looking that far ahead yet.
I'll play Never Gonna Give You Up.
No, I want Set Fire to the Rain by Adele.
What hobbies did you have or still do that you've loved for a long time? Do you have any that pop out?
Knitting, sewing, and I was always very sporty, so I used to play different sports.
What sort of sports? That's great.
Well, I always played tennis, netball.
Did you ever
hockey.
compete? Like in
I used to
big
play
ways?
for the school.
Okay.
Oh, we
That's
had.
as far as I got.
We had a netball tournament. Did you? Yeah. That didn't go so well. Didn't go well. No. We were underprepared.
But because we're such a small school, you can't really select the best of the best. It's just whoever's free.
Whoever wants to.
Yeah. And then the other schools, we turned up and we were just in mismatched clothes, not knowing what we were doing. We didn't know any rules or anything.
Oh, it was
And then the
awful.
other schools were all in their proper kit.
They were tall.
and they looked so
professional.
angry.
So you enjoyed yourself and they did. If you're going to do anything, do it well. If you're going to lose well.
We lost well.
Yeah.
You lost well.
Yeah.
That says a lot, doesn't
Well,
it?
we're the only team that was still smiling by the end. All the other teams that had lost were in tears. Okay, so it's basically a whirlwind of colours. Different colours, flowers, a tree and me on a swing. So it's representing my upbringing. So I was surrounded by nature and always
Of
outdoors
course,
exploring.
Yeah.
Yeah, show it to the camera.
Oh,
It's lovely.
I think it's lovely.
Yes, it is, isn't it? The colours, I like the colours as well.
Feel like
Yeah.
I don't know what I was going for, but it's a beetle.
Ooh.
6 legs.
In a frame, and I guess it kind of represents looking back at memories, like looking back at something that was lively
Yes.
and wonderful,
Yeah.
and not necessarily in a depressing way, more like
Yeah.
a gratefulness that there was something so lively.
Mm.
Yeah,
It's like a scarab
yeah.
in shape.
Not sure what mine represents. I think it's probably it's supposed to be a tree.
It's beautiful.
But
It's a
it's,
beautiful tree. I love it.
I think probably because we were outside a lot, nature, and I just enjoy greenery. Yeah.
Lovely.
We had a big, long back garden, and my dad liked making sheds. He was a carpenter. He got to make something. So I had 2 sheds that I could do anything I liked with. They were, my play places. And that was the coal shed.
Mm.
And my mum used to put the pram in there with my brother in it.
In the coal shed.
Yeah.
Was the coal in there? There was no coal
And
in
one
there.
day it was snowing, and she must have forgotten to strap him in.
Oh.
And he got out and he crawled up through the snow to the back door. Through here to the back door. So that's another shed. That was the apple tree,
Lovely.
and my swing was actually on the apple tree, but I didn't have room there, so the swing's over here somewhere. And that was near the kitchen door. It was a lovely big lilac tree,
Oh.
and when it smelled so lovely.
Yes.
When it was,
Yes.
It didn't last for long.
No, not with the flowers.
No, the flowers lasted for a very small time. And this is all violets, little violets, down the side of the path, both sides.
You remember it well, don't you?
Yes.
Here's my wellies, because we all got wellies. There's a nun. Some flowers.
Beautiful. Teacup. And
Yeah, teacup and tea, because there was a heck of a lot of. My mum was Irish, so there was a heck of a lot of tea drunk in it.
Oh, really?
And that's a girl in a pixie hat, because that was fashionable, and I always fancied one of those.
A pixie hat.
Yeah, it's a knitted hat, got
Yes,
20 bits
yes, yeah.
there. Right, how else have I got on here? Yeah, just tulips because I like them. Phoenix Cottage, that was the name of our house. It was a really old house. Yeah, and I could be back there now in an instant.
wow.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And all the
Photographic
memories there of the
memory,
garden.
yeah.
That's lovely, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And smells bring you back a lot as well.
Yes.
It
I
smells.
used to
smells
love- I used
really
to love
capture.
the little
Yes.
violets along here.
Yeah. Beautiful. Lovely.
Mm.
But it was
What
a
about you?
very long garden.
And
Yes.
friends, Mr. Dunleavy?
Well,
Show us. I'm intrigued. I can't see a thing.
I started with blue and yellow, thinking of the beach and the sea
Oh,
when I was
yes.
a child.
Yes.
hello,
And-
Neve.
Hello, Neve. and that's when you asked me, is it a phoenix? I said, no, it's a portrait of you. But it's not. It's a
Flattering.
phoenix saying hello, Neve.
Ah,
So,
let's see the vision
so
now.
it just went off, because that's how I paint anyhow.
Yes.
It's great.
And it's very odd, and it belongs to you, Neve.
Let's all show our pictures
Yay.
at the same time. Whee! Okay,
If
that'll
only
be.
it's not going.
Oh, finally. So overall, I think this was a very nice experience, and I hope it has been for you.
Yes, thank you.
And I hope it's given the opportunity to share experiences in an intergenerational way. So my final question is, do you feel like giving the space and opportunity to connect over topics and activities with the other generation is beneficial for both groups of people? I'll start with me, essentially.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. It's really interesting hearing different stories from everyone. Yeah.
Yeah.
I also think when you're young,
Yes.
you cannot imagine ever being old. When
No.
you're young,
No.
you just cannot imagine it.
It sort of creeps up on you.
Yeah.
Just wake
Without
up
you-
one day and ooh.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
been very, very interesting
Mm.
hearing different.
No, I think it's lovely, younger and older people mixing together.
Mm.
I think we've both got probably a lot to learn
Mm.
from each other.
I think if young people spoke more to older people, they'd be surprised that they've got a lot of things to say and a lot of tales to tell.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
I hope this has done it. Do you think that if this sort of thing was repeated, like over a couple of weeks, it would harbour a really nice friendship?
Yes, because you get to know people
Yeah.
better and you sort of dig a bit deeper.
Mm.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for,
Yes,
for
thank
being
you
here.
for asking us.
I hope the cakes were a good
They were
payment for this,
Exceptional.
for your time.
Very
Thank
good.
you.
Yes, they were lovely.
Yes, thank you so much for being here.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
And that's it
For today.
for today's episode. Goodbye.
Goodbye.